We apologize for inconvenience. Yeah, I got disrupted. I apologize. Go ahead and send in your request. I'll bring you in. All right. Let me go ahead here and bring you in. This is not okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, calling you. To that, please. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you for this great opportunity or for hosting this show. I just want to talk a few things,
Go ahead.
First, going straight to the topic. It's actually a very good topic, and coming to the point is interview with Kiir, it was in kind of, it was nice interview actually, because the interviewer is able to, to bring, some, good points with regard to the ongoing process of peace. So for me, I think Kiir, okay, as a president, he lacks some kind of, intellectual knowledge or, intellectual response to questions. So like other presidents, okay, we cannot blame him because, we know all. I have been following like most of his interviews, and, not only the last interview, he has made a lot of, mistakes by responding, in that way. And I think it's not a very good response. As a president, you should have, some intellectual or knowledge or skills, because like what have I observed from him, he cannot respond to quick questions, because that interviewer is like very fast in asking, yeah.
What do you mean?
So,
What do you mean
I
is
think,
very fast asking question?
Pardon?
What do you mean that interviewer is very fast asking questions?
I'm not getting you. You said?
Well, I was saying that you said the guy that interviewed President Kiir, it was faster. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
asking question and then
No, I mean like, okay. I mean like, he doesn't have, what you can say, a very quick thinking in answering things, That's what I mean. Like, as a president, you should analyze things very fast and then answer. But I think, what he answered is what he means. And I think he's not a very good president. And I have like gone through most of his interviews.
Do you think
He's not
his answers, he tried to provoke the situation so Riek Machar cannot go to Juba, or
exactly. That is the point. That is the point. I think Kiir is not for peace. This is what I like observe from most of his interviews. Not only this, even last interview he did after the outbreak of J1 in 2015. I have watched that interview, same with Jeff Koinange. And it was, yeah, we can say he's not like, most of his interviews, he will say like he's been forced to do this. You are the president, okay? How you will say someone has forced you to do this? It's like, a kid and then the father is telling, go and wash your clothes or go and take shower, which is not good. You are the president. You should decide all the things, not to tell the people that, and it's, someone has told you something to do. I have been forced. What kind of president is that? Which is not good. And then coming to the interview of, what is the name? Parr or something? Parr. Stephen Parr, right?
Stephen Parr.
So, yeah, I think the points or whatever he made, I think that is correct. Because we're in peace process. So when we're in peace process, what are you supposed to do? Okay, we should release the political detainees, or the what you can say, the prisoners of war, which is a good point. In order for the peace, to go on, you should release the political detainees. Yeah, you should not,
All right.
so that people, we can see like there is hope for peace. But if you are talking like, this guy is an angry person, angry for pause, which is not good, not good at all. We South Sudanese, we should stand up against all these things. I think if we are to be like this, okay, I don't think peace will come. We should always stand up. Like South Sudan, okay, most of the countries, they have undergone all these things. But the people, okay, they have to stand up against all these things. Because say, okay, tomorrow Riek Machar came to Juba. And again, same thing which has happened in 2015 happened. Do you think peace will ever come again? Or the same people will continue what? Oppress the people of South Sudan. These things should stop.
All right.
Which is not good, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming in and adding your perspective as well. Let me move ahead here and bring other South Sudanese. It was good having you, and please stick around. We may bring you back if you request it again. Thank you.
Thank you, Jongkor. Thank you. Have a nice week.
So, yeah, Jama, I apologize. It's been like since last couple of weeks, we have been hit with this kind of thing. We start the broadcast, and then after 1 hour, and then it get dismantled. So we don't know what to do. Maybe it's the Facebook policies, or I don't know. When you hit 1 hour, and then something like that happen. So I saw you requested Emmanuel Ajawin, but it disappeared again. Maybe it has something to do with your network as well. Just I hope this thing. Just type something here so I can see it, and then I can go ahead and call you from different direction, because it appeared like it's giving us a hard time here now. Go ahead and type something, and then I'll bring you in. Right? Emmanuel Ajawin, go ahead and type some. Okay, I'm calling you right now, Emmanuel. Go ahead and answer that. All right. Hey, Emmanuel, good to see you, sir. How are you, Molana?
Hello, my friend Jongkor. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you very well.
Yeah. The internet is not working well. I don't know why.
It's working good now. We can hear you actually. It's good. I know.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, go ahead now. Maybe we need to borrow some from Adol.
Yeah, thank you, Jongkor, for hosting me. Thank you for hosting me. And I'm not sure. I think you're hearing my voice. I will just go ahead and continue. Okay, I could see you saying okay. Yeah. First of all, looking at the interview with Jeff, the interview from the substantive aspect. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh man, I don't know. Let me try to log off and come in again. I think I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll bring you back again. So let me go ahead here and see who I can have at this moment. How about Mr. Agud? Agud, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you right now. So Agud, I'm calling you.
Mr. Jongkor.
Good to see you, Agud.
Salam alaikum.
Good winning.
I know. What's up, brother?
It's a day, Mantamashi. You don't sit down. I don't know why.
Well, I'm sitting right now. So, what is good?
Go ahead. You have heard the talk,
Well,
the topic.
yeah.
What's going on with you? What's your response, sir?
Well, thank you, Gamra Jongkor, and thank you, Kulu Nadal Meshadin.
No.
You know, you remember during the American, when they start to kick out the British, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made a case, to indict the king because of the tax. They were paying taxes, but there is no service to the people. So they made a case to get the king out. Now, why I'm saying this? People of South Sudan should understand that this peace that was signed in Khartoum is good for them. It's good for the people of South Sudan for so many reasons. I will come back to the interview. It's good for them for so many reasons, including you, Jongkor, you and I. We from Lowell State. We are stateless. Okay. Since 2 years ago, our state, parliament never met. What does it mean to you? That means this peace will help us. It will help us to balance the power in the government. If we have 5 vice presidents, that means the president will not have the same power that he has in the past. Even though there is a disagreement between the people of South Sudan that this peace is not good, this peace is good. It is good. It will give people right. It will give people a break, not to have a sound of a gun. People will have a time, to go and do some farming. People will have a time to go and re-engage. And speak about the peace that become a foundation for the future of the Republic of South Sudan. That's what I want to say, to our people. Let's try to be vigilant, because if we refuse this peace and we keep rejecting it, what benefit does we get? We don't get nothing.
We did not refuse we did not refuse peace, but the guy, your boss, the president, he is not willing. You can tell, there is nothing to hide behind, to hide.
Well, it is called perception. Your perception might be right to you, but it's not true. Let me say this about the interview, okay? The interview was, I did not support the interview that very well, even though I support the government. The interview was not, a well planned. And Jongkor, when you are a leader, there are some words that you need to use, and I want to appreciate the gentleman before the ambassador, who came. His language, his intention was that when you're a leader, you have to use some language, some word that can describe even a pain of a person can be alleviated from it. So those President Salva Kiir lacked those language. One that Jongkor was alive. If people are angry at him, when he speaks, it will cool you down. You will feel good. Even if you have no food in the stomach, you will.
Do you think President Kiir actually speak grammatically great? But
it's not about the grammar. It is not. It's about the grammar.
Or just being an arrogant. You don't care. I am a liberator. I spent 22 years. Who cares? This country I liberated. I can do whatever I want. If they don't want to get on my thing, let them go to hell. Go ahead.
Jongkor, put yourself, put South Sudan in the position of America today, the United States of America today. If South Sudan was like this, America was like South Sudan, they would have been at war already. You know, leader is a leader, but the people have to maintain the stability to themselves, because if they cannot do that, they will fall over the cliffs. The interview was not good. Okay, I want to say it was not good.
It was good or
Why
it was not good?
It was not good.
It was not good.
Yes.
Okay.
Why it was not good? The reason why I reject was not good, not because President Salva Kiir doesn't want peace. He wants peace. But those who are, those who are with him, they're supposed to tell the president, this is the language you need to use. Use this language even though in your heart, those doubts are in your heart, don't say them. Use this format. And he's supposed to use the format that was given to him, but they haven't done it. So Comrade Salva Kiir Udar Salam. But this man, Amal Zaman da will be hard by Jama. He's been so many times, more than 40 years in the war. Those years in the war, and and he believes he's the only guy, he's the only loyalist who can be able to take South Sudan out of this mess. And that is wrong. So, Reyes Salva Kiir, I do support. Listen.
I want to give him credit. I want to give him credit.
Yeah.
Actually, President Kiir, he said something really interesting. He said, when we are about to get the process of referendum, after Dr. Jongkor died, because this guy asked him a question, those are polynomiative, there were so much, forces against South Sudan, against the SPLM that time. So he was able to bring these guys on board. He said that I told them, come, we were fighting those guys. Now there is no need for you to be on that side, right? I give him credit for that. He was able, to galvanize and bring South Sudanese so they can have aim or referendum. That's one thing. The harassment that Bashir used to do on a BA on Night 14 on the border, bombing, doing all these things, President Kiir, he didn't go to war, right? So he had the patience that time. He knew what he's doing. So the notion that people are saying that President Kiir has been in war for a long time, now he doesn't know what he's doing, it's not correct, because the guy actually was able to bring Junubin al-Kana Mashimal al-Kanga out of SPLA. He was able to bring referendum. So you, my brother, come home. Why is not lacking calling Junubin after their independence? You go to Kulam fi Tawla. Wahid يقول يا جماعة الحد دقيقة الهدف لقيناه. Now how we can govern this thing? Why is lacking that? You see the difference here, my brother?
Jongkor, you have missed a point. You missed a big point. The point you miss is that when Dr. Machar came to join the SPLA in 2002, and he signed a peace because Dr. Garang wants the SPLA to have the agreement with the Khartoum, because our opportunity was the September 11th, when the terrorists attacked the United States of America, and Khartoum was a mastermind. That you need to understand that, okay? When Bashir was not interested to sign peace, he signed a peace. So Dr. Garang brought Young Bashar in, but when he was assassinated, Dr. Garang was assassinated for a purpose. It was not just a death; it was called assassination. He was assassinated because those who want South Sudan not to get. Who do you think behind assassination? I'm not going to accuse them. We will talk about that next time. So when he was taken out of the equation, Dr. Young Bashar with his forces become a threat and imminently. And because of that, and with the all SPLM foxes and President Salva Kiir, Comrade Salva Kiir was the last member of the SPLM party founder. It was left. So his commanders brought him into the chair. And from that time, my brother, his struggle never stopped. His struggle was there. These people were belligerent. They were a threat to the stability. But we have to tell them to thank you for letting us become independent first. If they have fought before independent, if they have fought for independence, we would have been slaves now again. But at least they have, they kept the patience until we become independent.
That's why I'm saying,
which is a good credit. Yes.
That's why I'm saying I give President Kiir credit for doing that. The same methodologies that
to both of them, to Riek Machar too.
The same methodologies that President Kiir have used to bring Paulina Matip and all these, those guys who used to be with the North and fight South. Why? He is not using the same thing to stabilize the country, because, listen, the guy asked him, as a president, as a liberator, when you die, what do you want to be remembered of? he asserted all these things. He mentioned that I fought for war and all this and all this. Look now,
Jongkor, I said
like
to you,
he doesn't want to be remembered for doing good thing, good governing, putting South Sudanese together, stabilize the country, bring peace.
Well, I will reject his assertion. I will reject that. Because why I will reject that? Those who have followed the road of freedom since 1955 until 1983 war, you know, they have not given him memorials. So why do we have to give a credit when the Poland's have not been remembered? So I reject his assertion. Okay, what the President Salva Kiir should understand, and those who are with him, we need to support the stability, even though we are not agreed with each other. With honesty, we need to support peace. We need to support whatever is, it will bring our people together, so we can be able to build a foundation that will last forever. Because
brother, I am
peace.
Like if President Kiir is the one not backing up now, the way he's behaving now, he's backing up now. I'm not backing up.
I'm not accusing you. I'm not blaming you. I respect you.
Listen.
Yeah.
Through this show, if I were Riek Machar, I will go to Juba. And then let's see what's going to happen. Because the guy, he keep backing up. Every time that, we do this, and we agree with this, he said this, and we agree with that, and then he keep backing up. Now we try to provoke them.
Yeah. Do you know why I blame President Salva Kiir all the time? Do you know why I blame him? I blame him for one thing. He's supposed to be the only person who can do anything, execute the orders, even if it means death, to those who are corrupted, to those who took the law of the country to their own hands. Even though God will go and put him in fire, so that the millions of people of South Sudanese can be able to live free and die and go to heaven. That's why I told him that President Salva Kiir supposed to take the law and order into his own hands. Use the law and order and make sure that South Sudanese do not go through such a suffering. This is so excruciating pain. We don't want this. Tear has been poured for so long. So your brother Jongkor, Reis Uder Salam. But those who are eating his money, they are eating his money, and they are lying that they are supporting him. They are doing nothing. They are just destroying him more. Those who are with him in the government, they are no better than those who are in the bush.
I disagree. I disagree.
Why not?
I disagree with you, because when you are telling me, when people tell me that actually Jongkor is a decent man, Jongkor is a good guy, but people around Jongkor are the one that making him like that. That's not true, because Jongkor actually, he has the way he does things. Why should I listen to those people? I am mature enough. I am a grown man. I use the common sense. Listen, 2 days ago, I was discussing with brother Madud. And Madud actually, he's a Vegetarian, whatever you call it. Dr. Okay. And then he said that actually he understands politics more. And I said, well, if you are Dr. Vegetarian, I don't know how to say that name right,
Yeah.
If you are able to piece this thing together, Dr. Tahaywan, it has more challenge than Dr. The human, because animals don't speak, they don't talk. When you diagnose the animal, you have to use common sense. You have to be really, really smart. But human being, you ask them, all these things,
Right.
So don't tell me that people around, human can use, especially when you are a leader, you can use a common sense to get out of the mess. But telling me that, people around him, they corrupted him, they did this, that's not true, my brother. That's a weak argument.
Jongkor, I appreciate your disagreement, but you need also to remember, you live in Fishimal, Sudan. We defeated the most radical terrorist fundamentalist ideology. SPLM party is the longest and the strongest party ever, liberationist in the kind of Africa. SPLM party was a great party, but we need to make sure that we have to bring this party back. We need also to support other parties in the country so they can compete. I want a party that is very strong to challenge Arka Shabia. Because if there is no other party to challenge Arka Shabia will take us into a ditch. So I think a party is strong, a stronger party. So we have to make a balance. When we make a balance, it will give people stability, and a great mind. We need ideas. We don't want violence. We don't want the general Madalat. That gotta have the Babir. We want the Babir to go to prison. We want this Babir to go to prison. We need to stop to go to black market. We need to support Peace Foundation. Without Peace Foundation, South Sudan will go nowhere. We have to support peace become a foundation in his schools, high school,
Thank you.
colleges.
Thank you, Agwat.
So I would say thank you so much, man, for inviting me. May God bless South Sudan and all of us live in peace and in fear.
Thank you. Thank you, Agwat. It was good
All right,
having
brother.
you. Let's move ahead here with the other. I tell you, I want you to just send me a request, please, because I need you really, really, very important. Chen Roy, I'm calling you. Chen. Chen, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan.
Yeah, Ustaz Jongkor. Thank you so much.
Great.
How
Good
are
to
you?
see you, brother.
أول مرة تتصل بي أنا ذلك كان داير نجرب الساقل بس.
No. Most of the time I call you, but you are on the road, right? Okay. Now.
Yes. المهم أنا سايق هنا I will shoot كلام بسيط بس ونتخارج. Yes. طبعا the interview بتاعي Salva Kiir, the President Salva Kiir ميادد بالنسبة لي in my opinion. President have done good.
Why do you think so?
Yes, you know, let me start with the question that you just had. There is a one, I just said that the question, the whole question is that the interviewer brought up the أسئلة سهل جدا جدا. The whole question are very easy. The whole question are just about what happened in
if the question
2013.
If the questions are easy,
yes.
Why President Kiir has to speak in provocative way? Yani, why he's criticizing Riyak with his old mother Mao Salam Mbare, and they are going to work together. No, President Kiir will never work with Riyak Machar. People, we used to say that because Jai Minimum, the spokesperson of the government say that President Kiir will never work with Riyak Machar. Okay, and we put that aside. Why on that interview on Wednesday, Riyak Machar there he's all bus power maybe this peace maybe will last, maybe will not last. Why a president is not giving us hope? We need hope and we need assurance as the people of South Sudan. President must speak with assurance. Why do you think so?
No, the reason why I think the interviewer came from East Africa, and those are the countries that, you know, huma indum hadaf. You know, يجوا بأسئلة زي ده عشان يجي يخرب الأمور.
Okay, go ahead.
Possible. Yes, very much. But the president لازم you tell the truth because هو شايف إنه العالم كله بيتفرج ما ممكن يكذب لناس. لو ما ممكن يكذب لناس. الحاصل أنت ما ممكن أنت أول حاجة انترفيو ما ممكن أنت شايف الناس زي كذا يوم بس وماشيين to celebrate the peace. وتجي بالأسئلة يعني بذكر الناس بالحاجه الاصل.
انت لو رئيس
انت ما ممكن
وانت عارف اننا ماشيين نعمل احتفال مره هنا الاسبوع الجاي وماشيين نهاك ourselves ماشيين نبدا صفحه جديده. We're going to open a new chapter. We're going to have peace. Why would you accept someone to come and interview you and provoke you to talk bad? لو قلنا مثلا ده الناس East Africa عمل ميسك and you are a president, why would you accept?
يا دخلت الوحيده لانه انا شفتها مش president براو. The whole cabinet. The interview itself, it's not supposed to be, it's not in the right time. لما وقت الانترفيو زي ده يجي فوق ذاته. فده انا كنت كان انه انتم ممكن تركزوا في ايست افريكا ده ليه هم جابوا اسئله زي ده في وقت الناس خلاص ماشيين يعملوا سيربريشن ذات السلام. يجيبوا اسئله يرجع الناس في الحاجه اللي حصل. ما وقته.
Now.
فالمفروض انه الاسئله the whole
اسئله
المفروض الانترفيو ده ذاته ما يمشي قدام ده ما وقت بتاعه.
انا داير اسالك حاجه ثانيه and then I will let you go because I know you are working. Now, peace wall Jeff
Yes.
Koinange sal President Kiir. Galo Malung gal, you are a good soldier, but you are a bad leader. President Kiir got emotional.
Yes.
Ma got the control. You can see the body language there. Ugalo Shunu, he's a bad manager too. Like in Jeff Koinange, Galo Shunu, Galo said, if he's a bad manager, why did you appoint him? Do you think the way that he answered that question was satisfied? Based on merit, based on ethic, based on their qualification. If you don't think Malong is fit and Malong is a bad manager, why do you appoint him? Later, that's crazy. If you think it was crazy, what is your perspective on that?
The same question will go back to Malong. Zakan Malong Arab, this is a bad president. Why you work with him?
I was appointed. I'm.
The same question can go back to Malong. عشان كده نشوف الناس انت عارف اسمعوا كلام اللي كان جونجر بتقول انه الناس اللي بيجوا بيحكموا البلد ده انتوا الناس زي اصله ما ممكن انت تتكلم عن الرئيس بتاعك اللي انت شغال فوقه تقول bad.
Go ahead.
ماني معلش في تليفون دخل. فنفس الكويشن برجع لمالونج اذا كان عارف انه بريسيدنت كير هو الباد بريسيدنت ليه تكون شغال معه؟ نفس الكويشن برجع لمالونج. فالناس زي اصلا الانترفيو اتسال was set up عشان يجي يخلق مشكله ذاته. لو كان انا سلفكير ولا انا الكابينت بتاعت الاس بي ال ذاته the interview will not take place. مفروض ما يجي ذاته، ده ما وقته. لكن الحاجه انا داير نقوله للجنوبيين اللي بيتفرج هسه انه الناس تخلوا بالهم لايز افريقيا ده الاسئله اللي هم بيجيبوا ذاته كلام بيجيبوا مشاكل. Yes.
I got my conclusion انه مثلا لو رئيس ده he was decent داير سلام لناسه عشان نازل في مخيمات يطلع، النازل في دول الجوار يطلع ويكون في سلام وناس يرجعوا يزرعوا زي ما الناس بيقول نمشي نزرع ويكون في سلام ويكون في حاجه زي ده. اوكي كان رئيس سلفا كير ما بيتكلم زي ده. ليه؟ لانه انت الليله ده لو انت داير يكون في سلام انت ما بتيجي تتكلم كلام اللي بيعمل بروفوك. ما ممكن تعمل حاجه وتيجي ناي تتكلم ديفرنت. بعدين كلامنا كل يوم داير نعمل بيبي سيت لكير ده ما بيجي يا جماعه. ما ممكن كل يوم نعمل بيبي سيت لكير. والله زول عشان عارف كم سنه ولا زول ناس زول تاني ده قالوا ما بيجي. ما هو انت لما تبقى الرئيس ده لما تبقى الليدر ده you know what you are getting into. You know what you are getting into, right? So we should be really clear here. لانه ما ممكن نقول زول ولا يعمل له سوى له. So go ahead with your last word change لانه عشان اخليه.
Oh yes, okay. إذا كان إننا ما دايرين نعملوا بيبسيت لبريسيدنت سلفاكير let us also ما نعمل بيبسيت لأي زول في جنوب السودان including رياض مشار وجماعة ده كله. Okay, at 2013 لو سألوا سلفاكير المشكلة كان إنه حاصل شنو ممكن يشرحوا. وما في زول بيقول أنا كنت يا غلطان. أي زول بدافع لنفسه حسب وإن كان رياض مشار ولا سلفاكير. فالمهم حاجه انا داير اقول لكم بس هنا في الحته دي النقطه انا شفت النظريه بتاعتي انا الانترفيو اتساب الانترفيو اتساب it was a set up لانه ده ما وقته بتاع الناس هنا تيجي ترجع ناس تسال ناس حاجه لازم actually maybe and all of that. Actually, it was set up from East Africa. I'm telling you.
The president, they are the ones setting up. لا أنت لو ما أنت عملت set up لكلام ده، أنت لا تقبل ذات تعمل انترفيو عشان تتكلم كلام ما كويس، كلام اللي يخوف ناس أنت ما دير معه سلام. أنت بس فكر في الكلام ده يا شيخ، فكر الكلام ده شديد. ما ممكن زول ثاني برا يجي يقول لك أنا نعمل لك انترفيو وأنت عارف الكلام اللي ماشي يحصل بكرة، أنت ماشي تعمل احتفال، عندك حفلة، ماشي تغنوا، ماشي تاكلوا مع بعض، وده يجي يتكلم كلام بخلي زول اللي معك في سلام يقول لا كده ده في حاجة ثانية هناك. تقول في سنيك وما اعرف ايه.
يا جونكور في زول كلم قدامي قبل شويه قال كلامات كويس خلاص. قال الحكومه بتاع جنوب السودان حتى الاسئله انت عارف كلام حتى السؤال واحد لو في انترفيو ولا لو في جورناليست ماشي يسال الرئيس حتى لو سؤال واحد بس لازم الكابينت لازم الناس المسؤولين بالبريسيدنت يسمعوا السؤال ده شنو. ما في ناس يخلوا بس انه اي زول يمشي يسال الرئيس باي نوع من كلام بتاعه. كلام واحد زي ده ممكن يقلب الدنيا ده
Yeah.
لو طلع مرة.
Now, Chen, would you think President Kiir will accept to do an interview with me?
Samina? Yeah, manage people are
Do you
calling
think
me.
Kiir,
Yes.
do you think
I'm
Kiir will
sorry about
accept to
that.
do an interview with me?
No, because أصل yeah معلوم لو عندك أصل كويس وأصل مفيدة.
All right. Chen, you look like you have hard time. People
في
are
اتصال
calling
كتير
you.
خلاص.
Let's leave it there. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on and adding your perspective. Stick around. وده ترجع بعدين ممكن نجيبك تاني. شكرا. All right, Young Deng Chenko, SBS Radio Dinka in Australia. Welcome to Concern Senator of South Sudan.
How are you? How are you?
I am doing great. Good to see you. Alhamdulillah.
I can see. I can see comedian Chech was saying a lot of good things. And how are you? How is the program going?
It's good. It's not bad. So welcome. What do you think?
Thank you.
Here talking about what happened 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, Jongkor, look. I listened to some of the segment, at least about 26 minutes of the interview by the president.
Okay.
And I won't look into each of them critically, but I would just give an overall statement on how this interview was conducted. First, I have to sympathize with him because some of the questions were asked, so he cannot avoid them. He has to answer them because that was the way they were set up to be asked. Another thing, he was also dealing with a very high-profile journalist. I think if you know, Jeff used to be a CNN correspondent. So this he knows what he was asking. So we can expect sometimes some disappointment and some good answers. But the best part was actually when President was asked about Malone case, and that was a reference to the interview that was conducted earlier by Jeff Koinange, on which he asked Malone whether Kiir was a good leader. But Chech said it very well. The problem in Sudan, Jongkor, Nazil, when they are in the leadership, they always babysit each other. They always think that they are the best friends, they are the good friends, they are the good leaders. But whenever there is a point of disagreement, then they are at each other's neck. So if you look at the statement that was said by President Kiir about a bad manager and then a good soldier by Malone and a bad leader, why were they not able to say that when they were actually following each other up? Another thing that you can see for Sudan.
And I'm sorry to disrupt you, and that's actually was my question to change. If this guy is a bad manager, why would you appoint bad managers? Why would you appoint people with corruption mentality? Why would you do that? Why don't you go based on ethic, based on merit, based on capability? Why would you appoint just random people if you know that they are bad managers?
So sometimes, Jongkor, there are areas that I'm sorry to agree on that point, but sometimes
it's okay.
I will go back to a statement that was once said by Atany Atany. And I agree at that point. Kiir is under a very a bad situation sometimes. People subject him to the life that he's not supposed to be in. Some appointments are made because somebody need that person. I remember somebody said it, I don't want to call the name of that person, but during the appointment of Malong, a group of elders went to President Kiir, and an elder said that. A group of elders went to President Kiir in 2014, I think, and they said, look, Mr. President, if you want a good chief of general staff that would change James Hothmai, that would be Malong. Because Malong was already, he volunteered himself to become a participant in the war on which he was not needed. He was already a governor and a political leader. He was not a member of the military. He was not a member of the military or the member of the SPLA because he was already a politician. So elders subjected Kiir sometime to the point where people make suggestions for him to tell him that do this, and do that. So I may say sometime that President Kiir is pushed to take decisions that are not supposed to be taken by him.
But who is that problem? Because you, the president of the country, and you know that you are in charge of all entire country. Why would you listen, to someone who is not in charge? Why would you listen to someone to let you make a decision that tomorrow is gonna backfire?
Now, let's go back to the culture of the SPLA again, Jongkor. The culture of SPLA, I don't know whether you heard that. Masadat, you come to SPLA and say, my child is sick, and I need Masadat. Bidik chalbita others, bidik jolunbita zait, bidik milk of bakel jot. The concept that was taken during the.
Go back to English, Jack.
Oh, sorry. That concept.
This is not SBS.
I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
I'm sorry. That concept was taken to the country when the country became independent. So people always have that kind of advisory position whereby they think they know what is good for the president. And look, even Jongkor, if you were to go back to be a leader in South Sudan now, the first thing that the communities that you were born in, or the communities that are friends that knows you very well, the first thing they will need to do, they will always think that they know what is good for you and that you don't know what is good for yourself. So they will always say, come to you and say, Jongkor, mada jibo ajak de bi jible mukila. Kadeshila ajak de bara, ajak de bi jible mukila. And that is the situation now. And I remember I can quote Atanyuak very well. Atanyuak said, the time for president is totally consumed by these community leaders. All of them come, this community need to meet the president, the other community need to meet the president, the other community need the statement to be heard. So South Sudanese got a hand. They got a hand in a way that President Kiir is ruling the country. So sometimes you end up being confused. Another former soldiers.
Go ahead.
The former soldiers are so in a position whereby they need to serve where they are not supposed to. So it was something that Malong should have known, that he was already a politician. He was the chairman of the SPLM in Northern Barghazal. Why would he come back to the army again? So both of them, Kiir can be blamed and Malong can be blamed for that. Malong can be blamed for that and Kiir can be blamed for that. When it comes to peace, that most of you were talking about, I think now we need to take a decision as South Sudanese at a certain point.
Correct.
To see that these were warring parties and they never like each other. Riek never like Kiir, Kiir never like
Riek.
Never like Riek, and the rest of the political leaders. So the language is not going to be that smooth. But the problem, if we, the citizens of South Sudan, decide to disagree with them and take the language of peace and start to be advocate of that peace. Look at the way he's doing. Kiir is actually doing better than 216. He's now talking to the army. He's even you saw this weekend that there was a footage actually broadcasted on South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation. That was not done in 2000. The footage of Riek Machar on South Sudan TV. It was not done in 2016. They never allow any single footage on South Sudan TV. So now I think there is a window. There is a window that we take the positive to encourage them.
You're
and
right.
Then ignore
You're
the
right.
negative.
Yeah, we take the positive. But the thing is, you already signed a peace deal, and you are going to celebrate with your brother, next week. Why all of a sudden you become more provocative, in your statements? So does that encouraging? Is that encouraging?
Jongkor, if you were to go back, and I grew up in SPLA area, and one of the difficult things is to teach an SPLA officer to teach them tolerance. to teach them tolerance, to be able to tolerate a situation. They are always that soldiers. They are always betatalamat and a good talamat. They are so they have never have this feeling that I will always try to be down than my juniors. So there sometimes I think there is that feeling. Another thing, there is a public relations problem in Sudan. The public relation problem is that people don't know what will trigger more debate on the other side. So it is always about your own power and your own position. People when you want to express that you are powerful, but it doesn't mean sometimes that it is going to be the case. And if you look at the problem now for Sudan is my problem. Myself is not the top leadership now. The problem of peace building is actually with the minor or with the junior officers who are actually the problem. If the man on the street is not convinced, especially a soldier with a gun or a soldier with the 3 stars who will go and arrest Jongkor, look at the people who are being kept at the national security facilities. Why are they there? Why are they still being arrested? They have not been charged. There is no case against them. And so these are the people actually that need to be told that, look, there is peace now. You need to support the president. You need to support the leadership for the peace building. Otherwise, without them being on board, this is where the problem starts. And this is what I actually, if I were to talk to President Kiir, I would actually urge him to talk to these people on the street, these soldiers with guns, these officers with Dabavir Bitam. These are the people who can actually trigger a problem, because if you bring the soldiers of Riek Machar or soldiers of Peter Gadet or soldiers of whoever and bring them to Juba, and then there is misunderstanding between 2 soldiers that can trigger the whole problem. So these are the people that need good words. They need to be told that, look, the country is now in a peace agreement. It is a bad peace if they say, but we have to make it to work. So that is what I would suggest. Otherwise, if you are going to look for the words, word by word, they will always have such disappointing statements. Not that the interview would satisfy us or the way we want it. If you were to compare how Dr. John Garang signed a peace with Omar Bashir and how they started to talk with Taha, or how he signed peace with Riek Machar and how they started to talk, there is that reconciliatory tone. But that is not the case now. If you look at when Riek Machar is talking, he's not referring to Kiir respectfully. If you see Riek is talking, Kiir is talking, at least he used word brother Riek Machar. That is another point. So what we are looking now, we don't need to look at these 2 as the problem now. We need to see actually what is the other 3 vice presidents going to do. Where are these 3 vice presidents? The 3 one, we can say now, okay, or the 4. We're saying that there is a Riek. Chances are there this time, Riek and Kiir will understand each other. But the problem is going to come from the 4 vice presidents, because these 4 vice presidents are going to seek loyalty. Do they want to be loyal to Kiir, or do they want to be loyal to Riek Machar? And this is where the problem is. This is actually where the problem is. So that's what I can see. Unless these people come as patriotic enough, they love the country, then they will work well between this senior, between the president and the first vice president. But if they are not, then they will exploit the differences between the vice president and the president, and then you're looking at another problem coming on the way. That's my worry.
Thank you, Jang Jongkor. Let's leave it there, and please stick around.
Thank
You
you.
can watch what's going on with our discussion tonight. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Shukran.
Bye-bye. All right, that's Jack Denchenko, the SBS host, Dinka. So let me go ahead here. Emmanuel, you have to send me a request because I cannot call you from send a request. Send me a request, please, so we can move on really quick. I saw that you type, call me, but go ahead and send me a request. Hopefully it will work fine this time. I saw your request, Gurkuja. I saw requests of a lot of people, John and others. Yes, Molana, good to see you again. I'm sorry the net, giving you a hard time. That's why I said borrow from Adol. Go ahead. I don't know what's going on with network in London.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you, Jongkor. I think, as I was saying earlier, my mobile was not working, so I wanted to call me on my laptop. And the laptop doesn't have the green light unless you send me the request, and that's the problem I have. But I'll use my mobile because you can hear me now, I'm sure. Let me do it quickly.
Yeah, I hear you very well. Go ahead.
Can I go ahead, Jongkor? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you very well. Go ahead.
Jongkor, can you hear me? Can I go ahead, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
We hear you very
First
well.
of all, Jongkor, the topic is very hot, and I thank you for. If you look at the overall interview that was carried out by Jeff, the president performance is actually very low, both on the substantive issues and on the presentation of the interview itself. From the outset, I will not agree with those who say that the timing of the interview was not right. It's actually the opposite. The timing of the interview was perfect because people were
Oh, Emmanuel, we have the same problem.
here to say in this interview. I think there are a couple of issues that we were anticipating for President Kiir to make it unequivocally clear both to the international community and the South Sudanese people. We wanted Salva Kiir to come up with substantive issues, constructive issues of how this agreement will work and how this agreement is different from the agreement that was signed in 2016. Unfortunately, Jeff asked him almost twice, and he did not give any satisfactory answers to this. The other issue that I would have expected President Salva Kiir to come up with, he should have said, first of all, to show the goodwill that I'm serious in terms of implementing this agreement, I now declare the following. 1, the lifting of the state of emergency. Secondly, the immediate release of political prisoners and POWs, including those of Agri, those of Dong, if they are alive, to be released immediately. This would have sent a really good gesture, not only to South Sudanese alone, not only to the political organizations that have signed the agreement. It's not IO alone, I think. They have others like SAWA and the rest who have signed it, those who are in Khartoum. This would have sent, that there's a new chapter in the president's heart, and he is for the implementation of the agreement. The third thing, Jongkor, up to now, the international community has not been coming forth to support the agreement. Why? Because they know that there's a lot of money that's required for the implementation of the This will require a lot of money from the international community. You will need to reassure them that the money will be used correctly and for the purpose that is intended for. Salva Kiir may have used this platform to address this in terms of how the international community finances that was meant to support the agreement, if they are to go ahead, how it will be handled in terms of transparency and far from the armpit of corruption. Now, there are two things that I paid attention to what President Kiir said, and it's very worrying, okay? One, which is less, is the issue of compromise. Salva Kiir said that the government has compromised, and we have accepted 5 vice presidents. Jongkor, to be honest with you, I was a participant in the peace talks, or the so-called revitalized agreement, which became as the memorandum of understanding between Khartoum and Uganda, and everybody was dragged along to sign. From December to May, it is the government, when it came to power sharing, that proposed 3 vice presidents, okay? It is the government. We in the opposition at that time, we rejected it. And they said, no, we want to accommodate everybody. So I'm very surprised that President Kiir yesterday is complaining that he has compromised for the vice president and 5 vice presidents. That's not true, okay? President Kiir's delegation that was in Addis has always consistently been pushing for 3 vice presidents. So if it was not Kiir that asked for more vice presidents, you will not have had 5 vice presidents. That's one correction. The second issue, which is very dangerous, is the misquotation and misinterpretation of Chapter 2, okay, of the security arrangement. Jongkor, we wasted a lot of time and days in Addis on this issue of security. In particular, the talks and the notion that talks that during the interim period, which is 8 months now they've agreed on, a national army would be composed. All the forces, the government and the opposition, okay, it will contribute towards the formation of the National Army of South Sudan. What did Kiir say in the interview? Kiir said that the opposition forces will be cantoned, okay, and then they'll be vetted. Those who are fit for the military will be taken in, and some of them will go to the DDR. Jongkor, this is a serious, serious contradiction to the security arrangement, which the agreement hangs on, okay? This also brings us to the fact that last month, when the government of South Sudan changed the name of SPLA, I think we debated this, I don't know if it's your forum or Edward, when he changed the name of SPLA to South Sudan Defense Force, we knew why he did it. He did it precisely to circumvent the security arrangement and to say that there is no SPLA. We already have a national army. So what is needed now is for you guys to just be observed, like Anyanya 1. into the national army that he's proposing. Okay? This will also remind us of the decision, the presidential order number 36, that divided South Sudan into 28 states when the agreement was signed in August, 2 months after the agreement was signed. Precisely, Kiir came up with that presidential decree to dilute the SPLIO portion of power sharing, because SPLM-IO was given the Upper Nile and the Unity States, 2 states out of 10, to be under its control. So to dilute this, Kiir came up with a presidential decree. The same pattern, Kiir is repeating it now with the security arrangement. Now, if there's no national army that is being composed, okay? If there's no national army that is being composed, there's no national security being composed.
Go ahead.
Because Kiir will continue having absolute power within the army and within the national security. Let me also, let me comment a little bit to what our brother Tuch was saying. You know, Tuch was saying that Riek and the other oppositions would come to Juba and the Juba government will guarantee their security. And he talked about grand tours. He talked about Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Sudan. These are there are only 2 grand tours to the agreement, which is Sudan and Uganda. Now, the issue of security, if it's a matter of just going to Juba and the grand tours will give, then there will have been no need to ask for the pre-interim period of 8 months to create the national army, because there was lack of confidence.
Correct.
That's why the opposition, I think, demanded for 8 months, where you will have the national army, the national police, and the national security established, deployed to Juba and other major towns. Then they will go. So what is the point now of them going without this arrangement being done? This is also another clear indication that there's no good intentions whatsoever in terms of implementation. And then Dr. Francis said that the interview was meant as a response to Molongawan. I disagree with this, and you asked him a question correctly, but I think you should have gone on with your lead. The only question, as you said correctly, was only one question that was pertaining to Molongawan. Okay? President had an opportunity and he blew it up. But I was not surprised, because when you have what do you call a kleptocratic system that is based on the patronage, you bring incompetent cadres to work in the presidential office, which is the most senior and the highest office in the land. You bring incompetent, and they're not able even to advise the president on what issues to concentrate on. And lastly, not least, people are saying here that questions were supposed to be given to president in advance. Jama, do we know what we're talking about? Media, Western media, and before I have held several interviews with Al Jazeera, they will not accept to give you questions in advance. Okay, this is a non-starter. CNN does not allow to give you questions. They will refuse that. They will tell, even for example, when I was in the UN, and I had a couple of interviews, I arranged interviews for Dr. Riek, for Wane Ega, and for many of the government officials at the United Nations, CNN and other Al Jazeera. When we asked them that to put the questions in advance, they refused. They said this is unethical for journalism. We cannot put questions in advance for you. It's like somebody
a lot of people
is going for the exams and is asking for the answers to be given to him in advance. This is forgery, this is cheating, you know? So this yeah. Go on, Jongkor. Yeah.
No, I was.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Yeah, you were saying something. Yeah.
In world journalism, you have to give question in advance. But actually, it doesn't work, because if I'm giving you a question, and then why do I have to ask you? Then you can come to podium and just give a speech if I'm giving you a question, because I'm asking you that to test your ability. How are you going to answer to the public? Are you going to lead? Are you going to come up with all this program? Actually, interview is a part of testing your ability. But when someone say that I need question, that person, there is something wrong with them actually, you know.
Yes.
Sincerely. Go ahead.
No, you're right. This is really also lack of comprehension. Mushkita nasne Jongkor, we have the policy of engage. We have a policy of engage. I know. We know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? And everybody assumes that they know.
Yeah.
You know, being the jack of all trades, but masters of none. This is the problem we have. Okay? You as a journalist, you understand it better. That you cannot give questions in advance. President Kiir is not a baby, as you said. He cannot be babysitted. For God's sake, he's a president of a country. Okay? He's a president of a country. You have an agreement that you have signed. People want to know that this agreement will stand. People want to know that they will go back to their homes. You need to give them a beacon of hope to the people who don't have any hope at this time. You need to reassure your opponents, you know, that you come to Juba. We put hands together. I will extend my hands to you so we could come, work, and make this agreement work and build the country. Yeah? You cannot say Bino Riak was running from his own shadow all the way to the DRC. This is I don't know what kind of words, you know, to describe it.
Man.
You know, this is a guy who's going to be sitting with you, huh? in the presidential palace.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on, Jongkor. Sorry, I cut you. I think the
like
internet froze or something. I don't know what you were saying.
No, I was saying that actually I had a different topic, but this interview I was not okay, to be honest with you, because I was expecting.
Anyway, it looks. I don't think you have a question. Let me conclude.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Emmanuel. I don't have a question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Emmanuel. Go ahead.
That this agreement will work, and there's nothing whatsoever. You know, interview Talana be Kofe Honen.
Oh, okay. Emmanuel, it looked like we have difficulties there. You wanted to conclude, but let's leave it there, and you may come back later, you know, and add another point of view as well. Let me go ahead and see on my list. I have very long list, actually. So Jotap, go ahead and send me, because I don't see it here. It's not showing. Jotap, go ahead and send me, and then I will bring you in as well, because I don't see anything here. Let me go ahead and call. Burkuja, I'm sorry because it took long time, because I have long leads, and so, you know, so go ahead and add your census as well. So because I have long list here. Okay.
I understand. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for the tremendous job that you are doing. Continue to create awareness and to keep our people informed, and that's the main purpose for the media. And also, with what you are doing, just want to condone you for being a persevere, regardless of all this noise in the background, personal attack here and there, to the lowest level that human being can think about it in 21st century. You continue to do your job tirelessly. So thumb up, brother, keep it up, and Don't give it up, because South Sudan is greater than you and I and many. With regard to that interview, I will take it from different perspective. Let us ask ourselves, who is Jeff? Okay. Somebody was, oh, Jeff is a high-profile journalist. Come on. Why CNN dump him? Go and do your research. Okay. We need to know that, Junubin. This is one perspective. Number two, we have this inferiority as Junubin. Okay. As you ask, if you request an interview with Salva Kiir, he's going to allow you. He will not allow you. Okay. But any journalist or whoever from any other African country, if they request it, they will be the next day in J1, because we have this sense of inferiority as Junubin. And a lot of people are not going to be happy about it. And we show it in our life. If you have an African friend or African girlfriend or African boyfriend, you brag about it. Sabial Afriki. My wife is an African. Who are you, Junubin? You are African too.
Yeah, correct.
Come on, trust yourself, okay? So that is why our leaders are going crazy about African women in Juba. They overlook our sisters completely. And the same thing, we get excited about it. So we have this sense of inferiority. And that is why somebody without credential, like Jeff, can step into J1 anytime, sitting with the president and talking to him in a such way that even there is no decorum, there is no respect, there is no protocol. Talking to him like he's having a coffee with his friend at a coffee shop. Come on, Junubin. You know, this is part of our problem. In front of those Africans, always we feel that we are inferior. And that is why we respect them too much. We admire them too much. And we cannot respect ourselves to conduct ourselves in such manner. And when we see an African journalist, we feel intimidated. That is why Kiir was all over the place, sweating. He cannot articulate, put his idea together. He skips some question and so forth. We have a national TV. Okay, how about using South Sudan TV broadcast to make such announcement of declaring, what do you call it?
State of emergency.
No.
Amnesty.
Declaring amnesty to people, including you, Jongkor, those who are on social media.
No. He called me actually rubbish on that interview. He called me rubbish. He said those rubbish, on social media. That's what he said.
But you are been given amnesty. So take it. And that was been announced through a third party, a foreigner media, not through official piece of mouth of our government. So that will tell you who we are and how we conduct ourselves. Also, it is an embarrassment to our leader, because running a state, it is a huge responsibility. You should be able to train yourself so that to pivot the question when you are being redirected in such way, and you have to answer it and to control that interview. And that is why Jeff came in as a devil advocate. And he keeps throwing it there, but it is true. That is why he rushed to Juba prior to the celebration of October 30th, prior to Riek Machar coming to Juba. He came to diffuse what is happening, so that to revoke Kiir, to agitate him, so that to say the word, to make the wrong statement, so that to derail this whatever so-called peace talk. Junub Sudan is the milky cow, al-bagar al-haluba. When peace comes, my SPLA, they will come together so that to loot the resources under peace circumstances, there is no way for friends, for Kenyan, for Ugandan to come in because Yalbalat fi Fatinu Yunum. But as long as there is business of war and conflict going on, so they are the beneficiary. That is why they sent somebody like Jeff to come in, and he knew very well when he sit with Kiir, he can intimidate Kiir and he can manipulate him, he can revoke him, touching his own personal ego so that he can come. Whoa, Riek Machar, if it wasn't because of me, I shield him with my body. That is why Malong would have killed him. Look at that statement, okay? And Riek Machar and Malong now, accordingly to Kiir, they are ally. What are we doing to ourselves, Junubin?
That was the bad statement I have ever heard. You can't talk that, you know, my opponent, the one that I signed peace with yesterday, is gonna celebrate me, calling him his ally already with Paul Malong, that who wanted to kill him yesterday. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
And that statement came out within 48 hours from Riek Machar declaring that he's coming to Juba for whatever called the peace celebration right away. This is placing the carrot before the horse. That's it. Riek Machar, what are you doing? Seriously, are you still coming to Juba with this statement, with this interview of Riek Machar, with the statement of Kiir? You need to think twice. Thank to Pastor who made it earlier that Riek Machar will not come to Juba.
Kwan Malwal?
This peace is not genuine, and we said it from the very beginning, okay? There is nothing there. And the way I'll illustrate it, it is the idea of the cats and the rats. Lower them, bring them to Juba so that we will handle them. When we lock all the access, no exit. So please, it is very, very obvious that Jeff came to J1 so that to derail whatever chance of peace completely. That was the last nail on this dead horse that they call it, Khartoum peace talk. Now, it is our responsibility as a concerned citizen, as people of Republic of South Sudan, what is the way forward? Because we have seen who are the manipulator so that to derail our peace, although we don't trust this peace, now they derail everything. And now, what is the way forward? There is nothing there. With my respect to Brother Thuj, he talked about whatever mistake hunter or whatever the description was. Our president needs to take his time and to pay attention, because he got the megaphone and he's the one in charge, so that to utilize and to pivot Jeff question to bring South Sudanese together, to give them hope. What peace they are talking about while there is fighting going on in Kajikeji, fighting going on, our people being chased in Western Bahr el Ghazal, and it is an ongoing campaign. Where is the peace? There is no peace. But Junubin, my message to you, please have sense of self-dignity. Respect yourself as Junubin. Forget about this phobia of being intimidated by African. You feel that you are inferior. Wake up, okay? This is my message. If you have a question, bring it up. If you don't have, I greatly appreciate it, giving me the opportunity so that I have to put my perspective.
Thank you
you
so
very
much,
much. God bless you.
Tuju. I don't have any question. Well articulated, thoughtful. Thank you for contributing. It's very important. You have a wonderful day.
Likewise, brother. Thank you. Keep up the good job.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Atilio Abu Yasmin, I have been looking for you. I don't know where are you.